Good morning. I want to share with you something I ran across yesterday as I was doing my Bible reading, and it just astounds me. In the book of Job, as you know, Job is probably the oldest book in the Bible. Job was a contemporary of Abraham. He was a man that before Moses and the law, before all of those things ever came about, he was still serving God. God gave him one of the greatest compliments in the Bible when he said, Job is a perfect and upright man. But we all know the problems that Job faced. We all know what his friends did and how they for about 30 chapters just rebuked and abused him and accused him. But in the middle of those chapters, Job, in defending himself, said something that was remarkable for his day. And that is in chapter 19, verses 25 through 27. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after the skin worms have destroyed this body, yet in my flesh I will see God, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold him, and not another. This is a New Testament as New Testament can be. As Paul writes about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, he writes about us and an end-time resurrection, and we're going to be caught up with him, to be with him forever with the Lord. So Job, before all of those, all the scriptures were ever written, he had this full theology of a Redeemer, Jesus Christ, his Redeemer. He had the full theology of the resurrection. One of these days I'm going to stand. Though I die and the skin worms eat my body, I am going to stand and see him with my own eyes. He knew that there would be a resurrection. He knew all of these things before it was ever written down by the apostles and the prophets and all this stuff. He knew that he had a Redeemer. You see, God let, even in the very beginning, God showed his way to everyone. And he said in book of Romans, he said that's why everybody has no excuse, because God has shown through nature, God has shown through everything that he is real and that he is alive. And we see that in the book of Job as we see this New Testament theology coming forth of a Redeemer, of being redeemed, of being transformed, and being resurrected. Job was a perfect and upright man, as God said. And there's one last thing about the book of Job that I wanted to share with you. In the end, God restores Job. It says he gives him twice what he ever had, and he restored his family. He allowed him to have a second family. But this only happened after one important thing. These men who abused and accused him throughout this entire book, God told them that they needed to go see Job and apologize and allow Job to pray for them, and then God's anger would be appeased over them. And listen to what it says in verse 10 of chapter 42. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Forgiveness. The one thing that ties God's hands from saving us is unforgiveness. In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus said after the Lord's Prayer, if you don't forgive, I can't forgive you. So even after Job was abused all of these chapters, for him to receive the blessing of the Lord, he had to pray for his friends. He had to forgive them. And he had to allow God's mercy and grace to cover those things that were in the past and allow the future to be bright and glorious And so it is for us today. I know my Redeemer lives. And I know that even if I die before Jesus comes again, I know I shall see him in a resurrected body. But I also know how important it is to forgive those things of the past and look forward to the things of the future. Job received his blessing when he prayed for his friends. And you will receive that blessing of God when you allow yourself to forgive and to move on from the things of the past. Then you know for sure that your Redeemer lives, and you will stand with him in the last day. God bless you, folks, and we'll talk to you again soon.